Hey, what's up, guys? It is the Ace Michaels Show. I'm Ace Michaels with you here on your dial. And today we're talking about America. Yeah, man, because America is kind of doing some people dirty. You know what I'm saying? They slipping a little bit. Now, listen, before I get into this, because I know there are the patriotic people who, as soon as I say America, they go, don't you talk about my country. Okay, well, the thing is, I'm not upset about your country. What I'm upset about are some of the things that happen here that we really have to address. Like, this was today is one day closer to the end of Black History Month. And I said this on another show, and I really, really want someone to send me an email to explain this to me. What exactly is the point of Black History Month? Like, I get that we celebrate some history, but we do that all year anyway. I get that we celebrate some birthdays of some black leaders, but we do that all year anyway too. There is no Black History Month parade. There doesn't seem to be any Black History Month reparations being issued out. Because it's Black History Month, you don't get a discount at the grocery store or at the gas pump. So what are we doing during Black History Month? And if Black History Month is so important, then why aren't we also having Gay History Month or Jewish History Month, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the whole point? Well, the point, in my opinion, is that America feels guilty about the way they've treated black Americans, the same way that white Americans feel guilty about the way they've treated Native Americans or indigenous peoples. So they start to say, well, it's not really Columbus Day. We're going to call it Indigenous Peoples Day. Well, that's a terrible thing to call it, because taking the name and changing it when what initiated that holiday was a massacre of all these millions of people, a genocide, if you will. It was more than a massacre. It was a genocide. And the things that we hold dear, like our wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, was also a genocide. The whole reason we have Thanksgiving is because the Pilgrims killed the Indians in their sleep. They lulled the Indians over for dinner, fed them a bunch of turkey, which made them sleep. They never ate stuff like, they didn't really eat that kind of food. They got all this food in their belly. Everybody went to sleep. The white people killed the Indians, and then they called it a celebration, Thanksgiving. So anyway, on the show today, my man, introduce yourself. I'm not going to do the introductions anymore. I'm going to let the guests introduce themselves, because guests are capable. They grown-ass men. Go ahead.
All right. I go by the name of Marcus Sincere, live and present. I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Ace.
Oh, you're Marcus Sincere.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know you were Marcus Sincere.
Yeah.
Do you know that we've known each other?
Yeah.
Oh, you knew that?
Back in the days, I think the last time we talked, I had
crazy.
a Sony situation.
What the hell is a Sony situation?
Yeah, I had a Sony situation of an email that came through, and I needed some proper and legal representation just to make sure my I's and T's was crossed, right?
Sure.
So me and you were talking back and forth on a regular basis.
Yes.
So I had sent you a call.
Sony situation.
Right.
I love it.
And so you sent me, you connected me with a lawyer, and I forgot his name, but I think he was the lawyer for the Jacksons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And so I sent him over the situation, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, the Sony situation didn't work out, but you did your part, and you handed me off to good people.
Mac Miller?
For the Sony situation?
Yeah.
No.
Was that the lawyer? Was Mac Miller?
I forgot his name.
Black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mac Miller. That's in Vegas, right?
Yeah, in Vegas.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the only black lawyer I endorse in Vegas is Mac Miller. He ran for a position, a state legislature position, but he's
okay.
I don't think he's an attorney anymore. I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, yeah, he represent Joe Jackson.
Yeah. And I was so privileged when you told me like who he was connected with, man, and I was great about it.
Yeah, it's a monster. So, Marcus, welcome to the show. And we're talking a little bit about America. We were talking off camera about some of the things, and it's not about racism, like I don't want people to feel like, oh, Ace is trying to spew racism. No, I'm not. I'm just saying you got to call things as they are sometimes. And where we're at right now is like, we're about to send billions of dollars over to the Ukraine for support, which I believe in. That's a good cause, but not when you're the same country that won't send $1 million to Hurricane Katrina survivors. You know, like
Right.
what in the world? Like what is the discourse that makes it okay for Donald Trump not to show his taxes for years, but then Blade Wesley Snipes gets in trouble for?
Yep.
I mean, okay, so I do understand there's a difference. Like Wesley Snipes didn't pay his taxes, right?
Right.
And
yeah.
so he got in trouble because he didn't pay them. Now, Donald Trump didn't pay his either.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm lost. You get what I'm saying? Like, what is the difference?
Yeah. So what I think the difference is with Wesley Snipes is that he didn't file for bankruptcy. You know what I mean? Because Donald Trump has all types of legal misactivities or fraudulent activities, if I can say that.
You can.
But he found the right legal terms to blanket his mismanagement of money called bankruptcy, and everything was fine. So yeah, I think that was it.
And that seems to be the case with a lot of people. Like, you know, Mr. Epstein, pedophile, went to jail and was somehow let free from jail, got to be on his private little island and was supervised and blah, 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 and unsupervised and could leave when he wanted to and go back and forth to jail. Just check in at jail. You know, that's what jail is for him. Just check in, let us know that, you know, you're still alive and you'll, you know, spend jail time a little bit when you want to, but then you can go back to your office and you can still get massages from pretty girls and the whole 9 yards. And that's just his story. But then it goes even a step further when, okay, he supposedly dies in prison. His girlfriend gets arrested. They have her in custody, supposedly, allegedly. And she doesn't have to turn over anything. She hasn't had to turn over any of the books that have the people's names in them who came to the island, the clients who got the massages. You don't have to turn anything in because there's so much money that you just, no pun intended, you just whitewash it with money.
Right. Yeah. So I think the moral of the story is that the old premise or the old saying still holds true today. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
True.
Right.
True.
So this is a game, right? And like with every law, there's a way to get out of it, right? There's a back route to it, right? So the moral of the story is that get you some better friends. Get you some better friends and know the routes to this, that, and the other, right? If you don't got a lawyer, find you a lawyer that knows the terms, the lingo, right? To help you maneuver this legalized world, or else you're just going to become a victim. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and so let me ask you a question. As silly as this may sound, dumb question, but do you feel that's basically what we are here in America? Are most of us just victims and some of us are living a good life, high life?
Well, I'll say this, right? Because I'm a man of principles, right? I read a lot, right? And so this quote by Robert Greene, he says that you can only enslave the slave. Right?
What? Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, listen, guys. This is a new season. We just started the show again just a few weeks ago, and we used to do what I call the T-shirt saying of the week. Now Marcus just hit on it. Say it one more time.
So it's a quote by Robert Greene, and it says that you can only enslave the slave.
I love it.
And what that means is that the person was already a slave in his mind before the slave owner ever became his slave owner.
Preach, teacher.
Right? And so for me to break that down in layman's terms is that if you are your habits, right? If you know you are doing something that is unprofitable, right? Mm-hmm. But you continue to tell yourself, well, I just can't stop doing this. But you know you don't want to do it. So why are you doing it if you know you don't want to do it? You are enslaving yourself to cigarettes, to women, to gambling, this, that, and the other, well before the casino ever came along and enslaved you, before the cigarette company ever came and enslaved you. You were already that. because you made yourself that.
Right, right.
Not realizing that every opportunity, every second is an opportunity for you to stop the shit that you're doing. Excuse me. Can I curse?
You've already done it, and yes, you
Okay.
can. Yes.
So every opportunity, every second is an opportunity for you to say, I'm no longer doing that because it's unprofitable and it does not lead to success.
So, do you believe that only a person can enslave themselves? Like, can somebody make you a slave? Can I make Marcus a slave if he doesn't want to be one?
Absolutely not. We have this thing, this beautiful thing on earth, excuse me, called free will, right?
Mm-hmm.
And free will is at your discretion at all times. If you want to go to the bathroom, that's your choice. If you want to do A, B, and C, you are the head person. You the head nigga in control of your own life. Your life is your own ship, and you're the captain of your own destiny. Nobody else can do that. Anybody else outside of you can enable you or nudge you or help facilitate your decisions. But the key part about what I just said is your decisions. You have to decide. If you don't decide, you are deciding to let somebody else decide for you.
So, I want to go to, this is a two-part question. The first part is, so how do you explain slavery? How did that happen? Are you saying that a bunch of people just decided they were going to go ahead and be slaves? They were mentally defeated and they were like, well, okay, I'm a slave then.
I think at the root of everything comes choice, right? You can choose to live, you can choose to die. Right? You can choose to eat, you can choose to starve, whatever the case may be. But not to sound all spiritual, but the enemy, the adversary, the devil, as some people might call, he is very crafty and he's good at what he does. He presents a good plan, a good game, right? But at the end of, you either choose to go along with his plan or not. But he is good at putting together a persuasive package for you.
Right.
And the persuasiveness is that he's extremely observant. He knows that your weakness is A versus B. He's not going to put a package and present B to you because he knows that's not your thing. Right? So with his observations over X amount of time, he's going to compile this demographics of you, this information of you, and he's going to package it up and sell it back to you and say, hey, I know you've been struggling as an artist. Let me help you get your music on Spotify. And let me help you get pitched to Sony because I know you can't do it yourself for X amount of fees. Right? And that's basically how it goes in every walk of life.
And that's how so many artists end up with a Sony situation.
Right. That's crazy.
So I said it was a two-part question. So the second part of the question is kind of an observation that leads into a question. So my observation is this, is that in America right now today, the fall of the American empire, we have the housing market contaminated. We have the health industry contaminated. We have the way we treat our veterans and civil rights contaminated. We have credit frauds and credit cards companies that are contaminated. We have so many of our established, what do I call them, foundational structures. They're really rotten from the core. Right. There's so much bureaucracy and red tape if you want to get something done anymore. And not to mention the fact that the government is not protecting you from the scam phone callers stealing thousands of dollars from your account and so on and so forth. So, like I said, the second part of this question is observation. Do you think we're in the end days?
Absolutely not. And here's the reason why. And before I fully answer the question, I want to remind you that well, I got to start with a quote, right? I like philosophy. So it's a biblical quote, and it says that a house built on sand can never stand, right?
Okay.
So America was built on thievery, lying, killing, and stealing. So this was never a sustainable place from the very beginning.
I agree. Yeah,
You
I
know,
see it. Yeah.
if we want to be factual here, right? Because the new inhabitants stole and killed the original people,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, but with that being said, if we look through history, to quote something else that makes a lot of more sense or brings it all home, James Allen says that the worst thing that ever happened to a man is for him to get what he wants, right? And with that being said, is that success makes a man complacent. It makes him comfortable, right? It is within the striving of something. It is within the hunger of something. It is in the lack of something that we are the most creative people that we can be, because problems create solutions. Solutions create ambition. Ambition stimulates the creative imagination. If you don't want nothing, you ain't creating nothing. So with that being said, is that within the problem lies the solution. If you can notice a problem, you can find the solution and you can become a rich man.
Wow. I don't think I can close the show on any stronger note than that. Marcus Sincere, how do we reach you if we want to follow you, want to stalk you on the www, we want to be fans? You're a very insightful man. You've got a lot that you can help us with. What do we need to do next?
The easiest way to find me is Google search Marcus Sincere. Everything is there. But if you want to be a little bit more direct, my email is officialmarcussincere or at gmail.com, excuse me. Facebook is official Marcus Sincere. IG is official Marcus Sincere. Everything is all the same. Everything is uniformed. But yeah, I'm always at Blast Media. Ace Micheals is my guy. Wherever he's at, I'm like a student. I was just telling him earlier today is that I take pleasure in soaking up the knowledge that he has. The guy's a genius at what he does, and so I feel it a privilege to be in his environment to soak up the knowledge and wisdom that he has, because I know I'm going to be a successful person. So with that being said, not to get too long-winded, wherever you see Ace Michael, be sure I'm in the environment somewhere trying to pick up a gem or two to apply to my game to become just that much more sharper. Yeah.
Amen. Hey, and I can't say anything to top that. You know what I say at the end of every show, and I still mean it. Live the life you love the life you live. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep.